What's going on, guys? TKD123 back with a review on the album this week. And then this week, we had a couple options here, but then we got the blessing that is an early release of True to Self by Bryson. So today we're going to be reviewing that, stuff like that. And just further off here, this album was a very, very interesting album to actually review, mainly because it came up just out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it, and I guess you guys will see my thoughts here later on in the video. So without further ado, this week we are reviewing Bryson Tiller's True to Self. Now let's get some logistics out the way. This album is 19 songs, however just shy of an hour, only like 58 minutes long. So it's, you're gonna have a lot of tracks here that are very short, that are very concise, that are very straight to the point, and they just go on, right? And so that does happen a ton here. And of course there is a mix of some of those just audio only kind of interludes where it's like a phone call and stuff like that, or it's some other kind of thing that he's trying to portray that's not necessarily a song. So there are a lot of those as well in this album, but not like too overbearing and not like too much, not like the level like we see in a Tip of a Butterfly, or in pretty much any of those really story-driven albums. Is not really to that degree, just a little bit here and there. It's a fine mix. It definitely does add to the overall context, of the actual album. And me, to just touch a little bit on the artwork here. You guys, if you guys saw my video, I believe it was this week, or no, the week before, where the official artwork dropped for the album. It's garbage. I don't like the artwork at all. I really don't. It looks trash. That's just whatever, man. This is what it is. It's not about the artwork, it's about the music. Now, kind of just to walk you through, I guess, my week, right? So it started off Monday, started listening to it, and then I want to say by maybe Tuesday, like midday or Tuesday night, I felt pretty much done with this album, right? Because I felt like I had the same opinion like I always do with his albums, where it's just there just comes a certain point, at least to me, where the album just becomes boring and bland, right? And that happens very, very fast for me with Bryson Tiller. And that could be his style, that could be the way he does his singing ability, or whatever we can pin it on. But and maybe it just boils down also to just me not liking Bryson Tiller that much. Like, I just thought maybe that is the issue. Like, maybe I'm just not a Bryson Tiller fan, to that level, right? But I feel that that was also wrong in a way, because it's not like I don't hate the music. I just find it boring. You know what I'm saying? And I think you can find something boring but not necessarily hate it. It's a very weird thing for me with Bryson Tiller, right? Because I felt that way with his past projects and stuff like that. But going on this one, I really want to give it open mind. I really want to give it open thought. I really wanted to give the proper kind of I guess listening sessions to it, right? So I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna drop this album right now, just because I feel this way, but I'm gonna let it marinate with me. You guys know I like that word. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let it just repeat throughout the week, and just see what happens. And so I did. I kept listening, and it finally kind of clicked for me. You know what I'm saying? That this album is good. Like this album is just good. It's good. And what I came back from liking the most about this album, right? We can talk about the way that he sounds really, really good in this album. We can talk about a lot of bad things about his album as well that we will definitely go into. But just talking from, I guess, the overall theme of this album, right? I wanna portray that this is a love letter, right? Like, this is a letter to himself, right? This is basically him taking what he's been through, what he's felt, the emotions he's gone through, the pain, the happiness, everything that he's gone through in terms of him rising to the occasion and being a prominent figure in the music community, right? And just kind of just laying it all out there, right? And kind of giving really himself an overall lesson, right, to be learned from, right? And to be true to self, to be not deceitful towards yourself, to not deceive yourself, to not lie to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a theme that I personally can very, very much relate to, right? And that is something that if you know me personally, right, like if you're watching this and you know me through my personal life, well aware that the year 2017 was about being true to me. You know what I'm saying? Like not kind of putting on this facade of like, oh, I feel this way, but I'm supposed to cover it because it's not necessarily a popular thing to feel, or it's not you know, I guess enticing to feel that way, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I personally, I scrapped that. I scrapped all that this year, and you know, this year has been all about you know, being honest with myself and listening to that gut feeling, listen to that soul, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very, very much of a thing that I can definitely relate to with this album, because I definitely kind of felt that through the music here, and I definitely did sense it, right? And like, you know, just so talking about the songs, right? I have some issues with the songs, right? Like there's basically with this album, you're gonna get either one of two things. You're gonna get an either, you know, very, very good R&B track, where I feel like Bryson Tiller definitely does shine through in, where with his kind of that more moody sound, that more sad, somber sound, I feel like he definitely does shine there in that category, right? But then there are the times where he goes into a little bit of a rap vibe, a little bit of, you know, a trap vibe, if you will. And you know, those personally fall flat for me. I don't like those at all, right? Like Self-Made, like I understand why, you know, Self-Made and like other tracks like that are in the album, right? I totally get it. It's to paint kind of his inner mind. It's supposed to reflect himself, right? So I definitely understand that to a degree, right? But it just sounds horrible. Like, it's just, I don't personally like it. I don't like when he tries to do that. You know, it's rare when he does it. It's rare, but it's still very, very prominent here in this album, talking more specifically. So that's something I don't really like about this album, honestly, is the you know, attempts to, you know, rap or do trap sound to it. But there is one rap song, and that is Before You Judge. Now, you know, that song, it goes very, very deep. He talks about you know, his past manager that didn't have the same vision and like that, and like that was in the news as well. So you know, it's very cool to see him kind of reflect on things that he's been through, like kind of, you know, on a more professional standpoint, you know what I'm saying? And like, he's not just talking about personal issues, like this is basically him laying out his issues in terms of you know, a more personal side of things and a more professional side as well. But then, you know, there is one song that, you know, listen, I gotta give cadence, I gotta give you know, my proper acknowledgement, right, to songs that have a little bit of a Latin vibe to it. And Run Me Dry is one of those songs. It's definitely a favorite of mine, obviously. I'm a little biased, but you know, definitely a favorite of that. I love an artist, you know, put just sprinkle a little Latin in there. You know, I'm a big fan of it. But you know, just overall, right, you know, with all that aside, really, the definite highlights of this album are when he goes deep and like he's singing, right? That is just one of, you know, by far his strong suits in his ability, you know, to, you know, be an artist and stuff like that. Is definitely really great here, and you will get that. Like, there are plenty of songs here that, you know, are very, very sad, but then also, you know, if you like that Bryson Tiller that, you know, raps and, you know, tries to be a trap artist, stuff like that, there is that as well. That's just personally not my cup of tea. I'm just gonna throw it out there. So definitely not my cup of tea. You won't see me bumping those tracks out on the street, but you know, I may from time to time, you know, play a little sad track, you know, late night when I'm driving home, something like that, you know what I'm saying? So overall, is this album worth it? Did this kind of redeem himself, you know, in my personal, you know, in like my opinion? Because you all know, right? Bryson Tiller, I'm not really the biggest fan of, right? I'm sure you can, you know, hear that in this review right now. I'm sure you've heard it before on the channel if you guys follow the channel very closely. But you know, it's something weird because on paper, right? Like when you look at Bryson Tiller as an artist on paper, right? You know, he great singing. He has pretty good lyrics here and there, you know what I'm saying? He has a very much of an R&B type of sound to it. You know, it's on paper, I should be a fan of Bryson Tiller way more than, you know, than I am, right? But, you know, like, cause when you're looking at on paper, he sounds like Johnny Rain. And Johnny Rain, I adore, right? You know what I'm saying? I love Johnny Rain, right? But, you know, there is just an element of Bryson Tiller that I just find a little bit bland, a little bit boring. When it comes to listening to him over long term, you know, when it comes to, you know, going on week 2, week 3, you know what I'm saying, where I don't get that with like Drake, I don't get that with The Weeknd, I don't get that with Johnny Rain, I don't get that with Kendrick Lamar, you know what I'm saying? So there is something, you know, that it's just not linking with me and Bryson Tiller, right? But did this album help, right? So that's the ultimate question here. Like, did this album redeem his name in my kind of mind, right? Not that it matters, but you know, it's, you know, whatever, right? So I feel like this is by far, you know, his best work that he's put out, period, right? I left you know, my listening sessions that I left, you know, listening to it all, after Tuesday, enjoying what I heard, right? So, you know, I enjoy what I hear, right? But I don't know how I'm gonna feel, you know, 2 weeks out, right? I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this album, you know, a couple days from now, even, you know what I'm saying, when it's had a little time to, you know, just sit with me, then like I go back to one track. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but just right now, currently, and like right now, you know what I'm saying, it's a good album. I like it. I'm a personal fan of it. I think it's a great hit. I think this is great for you know, him as well. So I say, you know what, yo, give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? And also, if you're like me, where, you know, you're not the biggest Bryson Tiller fan, I would honestly give this a shot, man, because I feel that this is by far his best work he's put out, regardless of my personal kind of, you know, preferences or likeness towards him. Overall, he put out a great album here, and there's stuff to like on this album, so definitely go check it out as well. And that's all I got. That is my review on True to Self. If you enjoyed, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn that below. I appreciate you giving me. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.